What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. And if you like my thoughts on comics, I am a comic creator myself, and you can go check out my books in the description below, both via my newsletter and via my Amazon page. Appreciate everybody who supports the channel and supports our creation of independent comics. You guys are awesome. All right. This is Venom by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. And this is the deluxe oversized hardcover, volume 1, and it comprises the first 12 issues of their Venom run from 2018. Now, this is a very popular run. It's sold out pretty heavily in single issue forms, and actually this volume is sold out and pretty hard to find also. But they are coming out with an omnibus of their entire run sometime next year in 2022. So this is the Venom run, and the reason I checked this out is because too many people were talking about it, saying how great it was, etc. I haven't really read a Venom story in a number of years. I like the interior art here with this whole hardcover book here. And I like this hardcover format a lot. It's a slightly larger than normal comic size art, and it just helps things quite a bit. So you get into this, there's this whole Venom story where you get into the background, and there's this like Beowulf thing going on from a number of years ago as a legend. Eddie Brock is in this spot where he's like kind of in a like crappy apartment, almost homeless, taking anti-psychosis medication pills, very dark stuff. And he takes down this like ring at first of a new jack-o'-lantern. So, staying with the Spider-Man past and all that. And then he becomes this weird, sort of strange Venom creature. Ryan Stegman's art is really pretty to look at, I gotta say. The line art is dynamic. It is fun. The colors can tend to be a little too washed and a little too dark, so it really doesn't give much of a variety over the course of things. But I really think it's pretty nice lines overall, at the very least. Nothing bothered me in the whole series. Was worth the read on this point. Now, there's these weird Venom creatures that are showing up in his dreams and everywhere, and there's this, quote, god showing up. And eventually, this story gives the background of this, like, symbiote god and the symbiote past. Now, it annoys me that most comics these days, especially these, like, hailed runs and all that, always go back to the origin of the characters and, like, retcon the origins to these, like, new epic twist of the origin that makes it even cooler or something like that. And, I've just seen it done with too many characters too many times. And now that we've got this like symbiote god and symbiote collective that was built through all this, and of course they tie in the Miles Morales Spider-Man replacement character, try to give the character a boost. I think Spider-Verse was coming out around the time of this. They were trying to promote those characters. It's always about the movies, right? But yeah, it does do that whole like retcon of the origin thing, and this whole god creature is a part of that through here. And actually, he ends up being the origin of the Grendel myth also, which ties into this. So a very interesting choice. It's neat. The story does flow pretty well, I gotta say. I like that Donny Cates really does not overdo the dialogue at all, so you don't get like these Bendis pages where it's just a wall of dialogue. You just get a nice flowing story that lets the art breathe, and it goes through. So eventually Venom fights off his like little god creator, puts him in this like oven sort of situation, and kills him. And so that's the first story arc. It was pretty epic, pretty big, and pretty enjoyable. The second story arc goes to a wildly different direction, and it's very personal with Eddie Brock. You've got this character called the Maker, who appeared in Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four and Ultimate Universe when he was doing that. And he's like an alternate universe Reed Richards who's like trying to take over the world, basically. And he wants the secret of the symbiote god for science. And he's captured Venom at the end of the last deal. And you get these like sort of backgrounds in his head flashes, and you learn that the symbiote has been implanting false memories to him. So you really don't know what's going on the whole time. And this ties into an older Venom issue where Flash Thompson actually got the Venom suit and was working for the U.S. military with that for a while. And I guess Flash Thompson's dead now. Some continuity stuff I would not have known. I haven't really read a lot of modern comics, so I didn't know about that whole deal. But Venom goes to meet him, and it does tie in. Like, he uses Flash Thompson's memories as Venom to kind of like escape the complex. Now, there's a weird background part too, and again, like Ryan Stegman's art's just very nice, as you can tell. Very, very well detailed art, cool looking, enjoyable to look at through the entire deal. But eventually what happens over the course of this is you find out that Eddie Brock has a, quote, little brother, who it turns out is actually his son at the end of the deal. And the symbiote is lying about things so that Eddie Brock does not leave it. It's an odd sort of deal. Now, you go into Eddie Brock's past in this quite a bit. You learn that he had a DUI that his father kind of got him out of, and his father's kind of abusive, and it's a weird situation. It's really dark, and eventually the story ends with Venom escaping and his son kind of helping him out, and him walking away with his son there. Now, the symbiote suit goes off by itself and kind of blends into a crowd, and that's where it ends. So, a couple interesting stories. I would say, like, the pacing's really good. It's really a little too overly dark for my tastes, but it might be enjoyable to some people who like that sort of vibe. I don't like the origin retconning sort of thing because I think it's been done in too many comics, but he did do a good job of it for that kind of story. The art is fantastic and beautiful, as you can see all the way through, so it is pleasant to look at through the whole thing. Lots of cool creative looks with the symbiotes and Venom through the course of this deal, which is drawn by Stegman, and good stuff on that level. So it's mostly fun, but it is a modern comic at the end of the day. A little too dark, a little too edgy, trying to subvert the character and be subversive and all that, which does end up to its detriment at the end of the day. All right, I'll call this an 8 out of 10 anyway. Like I said, it was a quick read. The pacing made it good enough to where it was enjoyable, and that will be that. Thanks very much. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.